Moving on to Canada now, police in Canada continued their crackdown on the Freedom Convoy protests, with officers in riot gear taking to the streets to clear the blockade, even as truckers remained defiant and accused the administration of being heavy-handed. Ottawa Police, in a show of strength, came down heavily on the Freedom Convoy protests. Cops in tactical gear aggressively pushed back the demonstrators in one of the biggest police actions in Canada's history. Officers quickly gained ground here, evicting demonstrators from the streets around the parliament. 47 protesters have been arrested, while many rigs and trucks have been towed away by the police. Scuffles broke out as protesters chanting "Freedom" refused to back down, as officers used pepper spray and stun grenades on the defiant protesters. After action on Friday, where over 100 protesters were arrested, cops quickly dispersed demonstrators from the main protest site outside the parliament, while police smashed vehicle windows and arrested protesters locked inside to end the siege.
That's my mother! Don't you touch her! Drop the board! Drop the board!
Now, police officers were seen aggressively evacuating the crowds, with video surfacing of a police on horseback knocking down people at the site. Several cops can be seen marching through the crowds holding placards. Protesters try to protect themselves against injuries. Ottawa's interim police chief, Steve Bell, also justified police action, saying that the force was necessary to ensure that officers were safe and that no protesters were injured.
Today we made some very important progress in safely removing this unlawful protest from our streets. At every step in this operation, we've been upfront and clear with the unlawful protesters that they must leave the area. We've advised them of our enforcement efforts so they could continue to make informed decisions. We've backed up those warnings with a deliberate and methodical operation using lawful and safe tactics. The officers on the ground have shown patience and professionalism. We all saw that the protesters were aggressive with the officers, and we needed to use horses at one point. As a result, we responded this morning by adding helmets and batons to our equipment for the safety of our officers.
Protesters pulled out of the capital. Trucks and rigs were seen leaving the site. Truckers have called the government's actions dictatorial, and some describing the police action as extreme. Others remain defiant, calling for fresh protests in the summer.
I've been here 20 days and they're being very heavy-handed today. They're pushing back. This is extreme. This is not Canada, guys. This is a dictatorship. Trudeau is ruining our country. Get here. Don't be afraid. Stand with these people.
It's about to be over for now. This chapter is ending, but the message, I think, has gone through in many hearts. And yeah, we'll get together in the springtime. You know, in a few weeks we take rest now, and then in a few weeks we get together when it's warmer, it's not as harsh, you know, and more people will join. We're getting together. We're just planting the seeds.
Freedom! 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 Freedom!
While the streets around the Canadian Parliament cleared, some protesters have moved to other areas of the city. Questions remain if the protests will now fizzle out or gain momentum in the coming days.
We're not here to fight you. We're here to stand up for freedom. Yes. We're not violent. He was way over here and your line is back there. Back up. I'll gladly give any one of you a hug. Come on.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.